It is the power rankings, the Anfield Wrap's power rankings. This is an American innovation wherein things are made up around sports so that they can shout into the camera and it can be played in sports bars up and down the country on a regular basis. So I thought we'll have that. With me, I've got Chris Walsh and Phil Blundell, who understand American sport and therefore understand power rankings. Also in the power rankings jury is Josh Sexton, Mo Stewart, Siobhan Began and Sean Bennett. You'll get some of their comments as they go. So how, you may ask, are you ranking these people for their power? What we're doing is we're splitting it into 3 categories. The first one is performance, the second one is if they're on team sound, and the third one is if they've given us a big wow. The lead in a big wow, Sam Walker-Dine, is producing this and it's absolutely fantastic to have him. It's true, he's in a band called Big Wow.
That's really, is that why you did this?
It's why it occurred to me, it was in my head. That's why it was in my head to call them Big Wow.
He's in a band called Team Sound.
Well, just no, there's no accidents, Phil. There are no accidents.
That means I'm in a band, I'm the lead singer of Performance.
And they're so metal, it's hard to put into words how metal they are. No one's ever gone harder. Anyway, so they're going to be the categories. So we've got them to vote into these categories. We've got them as top 3s, and then in part 2, you'll see the proper power rankings. Performance is the one we weight the most, obviously, and there's a little bit of previous performance in here as well. It'll become clear as we go month to month, and if you've never been shouted at by a television screen in a bar in America, then you've really not lived. That's how this is going to work. So our top 3 for performance are as follows. Number 3 is Alexis McAllister. Number 2 is Cody Gakpo. And your number 1 performer so far for Liverpool pre-season is Mo Salah. And Phil Blundell, Mo Salah is Liverpool's best player. He is top of performance. That's not a surprise.
It's very simple to weight this one out, isn't it? That's how the numbers work, I suppose.
Yep.
We get some numbers, we write numbers next to a person, the best one comes top, and obviously Mohamed Salah is top because he's incredible. He's been setting loads of goals up pre-season. He's scored some. He looks sharp. I think
so
there's the one he makes for Jota against Preston where he mugs the left back and goes, there you go, have a goal, bang. Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more.
I'm intrigued by all 3 and how they sort of ended up there. It was tight, this category, when all the voting came in, Chris. There were other ones up there, but let's be clear. 2 of them are very clearly attackers. The third one is a midfielder who's been playing in an attacking midfielder position. And what we've seen in pre-season, the votes, by the way, don't take into account the Darmstadt game. That's my one thing on all of this. We voted for it over the weekend before Darmstadt. But everything I saw against Darmstadt, I wouldn't shift this top 3 at all.
No, absolutely not. This man is going to say he doesn't know what Cody Gakpo is. He doesn't know how he's going to...
He doesn't know what a Cody Gakpo is.
No, he doesn't know. Why is Cody Gakpo? How is Cody Gakpo? Cody Gakpo is the one that really stands out there for me because I think in every single pre-season game that I've seen him play, I think there's a situation there where you're saying he can really make an impact on this Liverpool team and he can do it in a number of positions. I think that's really, really exciting. I think you look at that Darmstadt game as well, and I think the way those all played, I mean, Salah is starting to look sharper and sharper, and I think he's just come to the boil really nicely. First pre-season game was all right, you know. I'm struggling to remember what the game's now. We're now, Neil, but you know, he was come to the boil. Felt like he had not a slow start, but a quiet start, not an output start. And now what we're seeing from Mo Salah is a goal and an assist in the first 8 minutes of a game. Chelsea at the weekend, he's ready to go. Gakpo's ready to step into whichever position Jurgen Klopp wants to play him. And Alexis McAllister's got this thing about him. I feel like I don't feel like, I know Liverpool got Thiago a couple of years ago, but I don't feel like I've been as excited about a midfield signing like this since maybe Alonso.
Yeah. No, the Alonso comparison for McAllister is dead interesting because I remember the first time everyone saw Alonso at Anfield, that game against Norwich. People came out, they lost their minds. I've got a story about that where Paul McVeigh once told me, I did a panel with Paul McVeigh and he was playing for Norwich that day, and he said that he got subbed. And he said that basically it was like a race on the 90th minute when the whistle went to get his shirt. And he said that McVeigh said I had an advantage because I was on the bench and Benitez had subbed him. But he said that there was this rush and Norwich players looking to get his shirt. I love the story. And he got the shirt and he was absolutely delighted about it because he was like, we couldn't believe what we were playing against. And there's been bits and pieces of McAllister. It's not quite at that level, but where you're like, my God, this is a real footballer.
Yeah, I think he's calmness on the ball. What I like about him is he's got the Thiago thing of he can just create himself some space by a really simplistic turn that they can't see coming. That's the one thing that the most enjoyable thing about Thiago is the way he'll just have the ball and then all of a sudden he's got a man on him and then all of a sudden he hasn't got a man on him.
YouTube Press the button, become a member of the Anfield Wrap from the heart of the city of Liverpool. The best way to enjoy all your Liverpool-based videos, everything you need, every single day. It is the Anfield Wrap.